BSE Limited, Asia's largest stock exchange, has surged 60 times over the past 5 years, delivering a staggering 127% CAGR. Quite handsome returns to its investors. Over the same period, BSE Limited recorded a 41% CAGR in revenue and a 64% CAGR in net profit, driven by the post-COVID financialization of savings, strong momentum in its BSE Star MF platform, and the launch of futures and options contracts on the Sensex and Bankex indices. BSE's fundamentals look solid and investors couldn't be happier. But the big question is, can this rally sustain, or are there a few skeletons in the closet? Welcome to Bottom Line by Groww. In today's episode, we analyze the business of the Bombay Stock Exchange. What really powered this stunning rally, and how did a stock that once traded at a single-digit PE get re-rated to sky-high 81 times earnings? So let's break it down. BSE, founded in 1875, is one of India's oldest stock exchanges and now offers a wide range of services across equities, debt, derivatives, mutual funds, and more. Let's start with trading and clearing. This core segment includes weekly and monthly options on the Sensex and Bankex, along with clearing and settlement services for all trades on this exchange. Then it also has services to corporates, including corporate listing services such as equity and debt listing, as well as services related to mutual funds, IPOs, and commercial papers. BSE has services under its distribution segment for mutual funds, including the Star MF platform, which allows for mutual fund transactions across India. Lastly, it also offers other services, including training services, data feeds, software services, and the BSE Institute, which provides education and research. Increased trading volumes on the exchange drove this. Even the BSE Star platform has shown strong performance with increasing mutual fund transactions. The next big contributor is services to corporates, which provides recurring income through corporate listings and other services with 16.5% of the total revenue. Next is the treasury income, which contributes 7.3%. This income comes from clearing and settlement funds and is driven by market activity and interest rates. And the last is other operating income, which includes other security services fees, which contribute 7.6% of the total revenue. Then, BSE has expanded its reach internationally with a focus on India INX, India International Exchange, offering access to global financial markets. Before we dive into the tailwinds and financials of the Bombay Stock Exchange, let's first break its journey down into two key phases. The pre-COVID phase, from IPO until 2020. The Bombay Stock Exchange launched its IPO in January 2017 at around 120 rupees per share, adjusted for corporate actions. But from those levels, the stock tumbled to a low of 30 rupees during the COVID crash. To give you some context, back in 2020, BSE's market cap was actually lower than the value of its balance sheet investments. It traded at just 2.35 times sales compared to 33 times sales today. BSE's stake in CDSL today is worth 4 times its entire market cap in 2020. So why was the stock ignored back then? Simply put, there was no growth visibility. Between 2024 and 2020, revenue growth was muted, profits were declining, and the BSE had almost no presence in the derivatives space. NSE dominated, while BSE was mostly limited to equity cash trading. Now, the post-COVID period. The 5 years post-COVID marked a major turnaround for the Bombay Stock Exchange, driven by a few key strategic moves. One, the relaunch of the weekly Sensex options in May 2023. It saw a strong start with 17,345 crore rupees in expiry day turnover in just its second week. From zero market share, BSE captured 3.1% initially, rising to nearly 12% by November 2024. Two, what made this even more impactful was pricing. BSE hiked the transaction charges from 500 rupees to 3,250 rupees per crore, gaining both volume and pricing power, which helped drive a 56% revenue CAGR over the last 3 years. 3. Other segments, such as the BSE Star MF platform, grew at a 50% plus CAGR since FY21. Even the corporate services segment saw a strong growth recently. Growth outlook. It might seem like BSE's business model is now well established established and the growth story is set to continue, right? Well, let's dig a little deeper. First off, nearly 70% of BSE's revenue comes from transaction charges, primarily driven by weekly options on the Sensex and the BankX. When it came to weekly index options, NSE had the upper hand, with multiple popular contracts like Nifty 50, Bank Nifty, and Fin Nifty, all of which had stronger trader interest. In contrast, BSE had just one hit product, the Sensex weekly option. But that changed with the SEBI circular in November 28, 2024, which allowed the exchange to offer only one weekly index expiry. NSE chose to continue with Nifty 50, while BSE stuck with the Sensex. This move turned out to be a blessing in disguise for BSE. It leveled the playing field, giving BSE's weekly expiry contracts a fair shot at competing with NSE. Secondly, BSE's clearing and settlement costs shot up nearly 3 times last year, from 133 crores to 348 crore rupees. But here's the catch. These charges are based on the number of contracts, not the premium value. With SEBI's recent reform to increase margins and lot sizes, contract volumes may drop, likely easing these costs going forward. Thirdly, the shift to a single weekly expiry led to a temporary dip in equity derivatives premium volume and turnover in Q3 FY25. But the momentum returned quickly, with a strong recovery seen in Q4 FY25. For BSE to continue this momentum is not going to be an easy task. Why? For one, BSE is heavily dependent on equity derivatives for its transaction revenue. A large portion of its revenue and EBITDA comes from the segment. So any disruption, slowdown, or regulatory change could significantly impact growth and profitability. At valuations of 80 times PE, investors need to stay cautious and factor in this concentration risk. Secondly, BSE still has no meaningful market share in the average daily traded value of futures, an area where NSE continues to dominate. So what should investors understand from all these? Well, as mentioned, the last 5 years have been exceptional for BSE, with revenue growing at a 40% CAGR and net profit at a 64% CAGR. But this stellar growth is already reflected in the stock's performance, with a 125% CAGR return over the same period. That said, the stock now trades at a lofty 33 times price to sales, nearly 4 times its historical median. So while BSE operates in duopoly and has strong tailwinds, the key question for investors is, are you comfortable paying a premium valuation for such business? Do share your thoughts. And for more such insights, subscribe to Bottom Line by Grow.